So I'm back in the car and I'm having a bit of trouble trying to start the thing. I mean, we're at 0 degrees, so that's part of it, but you get the idea. It's not starting. So what I'm going to do is come in here. One thing I should have done from the start, I guess, was download the map. There's the map that was tuned. I want to save it. So if I do File, Save As, and this is really important that I keep a saved map. So I'm just going to call it B18 Turbo, and I'm just going to say this is the 300 bhp dyno. So save that. And then I'm going to save it again because I'm going to make some changes to it. So I'm just going to do a quick edit. I'm just going to call it Feb 2021. Okay, now I'm going to edit it. So there's a few things I'm going to edit. I did go and start messing around with it a little bit before anyway. There's two bits. There's in fuel compensation. So there's one bit. So this is the light engine load. So down here I've got 3.8. So instead of 3.8 I could have just the 1.1 that I've got at 17 degrees, so I could change that there. And then the other bit is in here, the fuel trim. So fuel trim, we've got something called cranking base pulse, and this is what I actually changed. So this was 25 and I've changed that to 12.5. So you can see this is actually the pulses from the injectors when you start cranking. So because the car isn't starting, I thought I would lessen the pulses away from 25 down to 12.5, and I also changed that at -14 because it was on 35. So probably I didn't need to change both of them, but either way I think we're actually below 0 degrees anyway now. So what I'm going to do is leave that there and actually change the spark plugs. In fact, I might even change it back to what it was originally and just show you that. So we had 35 and 25. So we had 35 here and we had 25 here. Change that. So that's back to where it was. And then now I'm going to change the spark plugs because I think they're going to be pretty wet. And I'm just going to go back to the original spark plugs that was running NA. I don't really see any big problem in doing that, so that's what I'm going to do. You've seen me do this a million times before, but you just get your 10mm, take off these 4 nuts, remove the cover, take out the HT leads, and then use this spark plug tool I've got here. So I've taken the spark plugs out. These are the BKR 8 EIXs, and I've got some BKR 6s in here. It's the wrong box, but I've got some 6s in here, and I'm going to put them in and see how I get on. So it's kind of 2 heat ranges hotter. Right, the 6s are in, nothing else has been changed, so let's have a go. Just runs. Not great, but so now it starts. I know that's one thing. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to change the fuel compensation. So here It's at 3.8, and I'm going to change that down to 1.1. So it's essentially the same, and then I'm going to online upload. Okay. Prime it. Doesn't like running when it's really cold. Let's change this as well. Some heat into it. I thought I'd take off the dizzy cap. The bolts came off easy, but then looking in it, look at this. What on earth? The little end bit is snapped off. I've got no idea. I've never seen that before, ever. So, has anyone else seen that before? Things just snapped off. I don't know if it's just, I mean, it was very tight on there, but yeah, that's just the weirdest thing. So I'm going to try a different dizzy cap, which doesn't have the snapped off end bit in it, and see how I get on, but it's just so weird. Right, dizzy cap's on. See if it works now. Change these values back to what they were. So when it runs for a bit, it gets a bit heated. It's fine. So it's all very strange. I think I might swap it back to the original spark plugs and just see if that was the actual issue. But either way, it seems like it's running much better now. It just doesn't like being cold. I actually switched the values back to what they were before, and seem to have any big effect. It just doesn't like being cold. So I'm going to speak to the engine tuner as well and see if he recommends anything. But other than that, I'm probably going to switch the spark plugs back to the original ones, just because I think that kind of been helping things. I don't know how that's happened with the dizzy cap, but there we go. Right, original settings on the ECU, original spark plugs in there. Yeah, I just find it so strange with that dizzy cap. Has anyone else seen that before? Am I the only one? Let me know. Just to complete this saga, I've got a brand new dizzy cap. That's the Honda part number. It's from Tegawa. And then all I need to do is take the old one off. Just got this 8mm socket. So it's just the 3 on here again, 1 down there. Basically, just transfer it over. So I've placed a new seal in there. It comes with it, so you may as well just make sure it's the whole way in. Check that spring is there for the coil, and then get your new cap and just place that in there. So, and just do up these 8mm and just transfer the plugs over again, and it just goes 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the dizzy cap on, all the HT leads pressed in. being careful not to over tighten this because it will basically crack along here and here. And let's give it a start. Yeah, seems like it's running fine. Next thing I want to do is quickly have a look at this fuel pressure gauge. Seems to be reading nothing. Yet again, I think we've got a massive boost leak. And I think it's, oh look, the wastegate. One bolt missing. Right there. So I've got a real problem there with vibration. So I'm doing two things to try and keep this wastegate on. Going from a shorter bolt to a longer bolt, and also using some of these Nordlock washers. So it's got some serration on there. They're meant to be good for stopping vibration, causing the bolts to go out. So I've got this 6mm Allen with a ball on it. Just getting down in there and just do them up tight, and hopefully it won't happen again.